Hey guys, this is Ascendance here from 4FS Gaming, and today the patch notes for Titanfall 2's next update, Operation Frontier Shield, were released. There is a whole lot of great stuff in there, and I'll chuck a link to the forum post down below in the description. But in this video I just want to focus on the balance changes and give a bit of a prediction about how I feel it will affect the meta. And I warn you, there are a lot of changes. This is going to mix things up, so I'm going to go pretty quickly, so perk up those ears and stay listening. Before I begin, remember if you enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe, it really helps us out here at the channel. So let's start off with the Titans. Now there are some overall changes here. The Ogre Chassis Titans, looking at you Legion and Scorch, now have a base dash, although it does recharge over a sluggish 10 seconds, so I wouldn't rely on it too much. Using the Turbo Engine kit will give them a 5-second recharge, but this kit remains the same for the other Titans, giving all the others except Legion and Scorch an extra dash as normal. Overcore has been hit with a nerf. It now only provides 20% core meter instead of 30%. I think this is pretty fair, as pretty much everyone was running Overcore on most of their Titans, and it was a bit silly with Monarch and the extra battery perk. What this means in game is that we will see slightly less core abilities, but not by much, and maybe a few less tier 3 Monarchs, which I'm not complaining about. To balance this out, Electric Smoke now unlocks at 20% core charge, so use Overcore and you won't be stuck without smoke when you first enter your Titan as per usual. For the specific Titans, there were a few unexpected changes. Legion's Hidden Compartment perk will still give 2 power shot charges, but each shot will deal 15% less damage. Legion was by no means the strongest of Titans anyway, but I suppose Respawn wants us to play around with his other kit options instead of just spamming power shot over and over. Monarch went through some changes as well. Her chain gun now has a base mag size of 40 instead of 30, which may go up to 50 when using arc rounds. Arc rounds themselves have had their effectiveness against flame and vortex shields reduced, which will hopefully give Ion and Scorch a fighting chance against her. Her Energy Siphon's slow effect has also been reduced, which is a godsend for those Ronin players. And speaking of Ronin, his sword block effectiveness has been reduced by 5%. This is a good thing, it's not massive, but it will punish Ronins who stand in fire and just block for too long. And finally, of course, we've all been waiting for this, the biggest changes have come to Papa Scorch. There are buffs across the board, and he now looks really scary indeed. In addition to the base dash provided by the Ogre Chassis buff, Scorch's Firewall will now have increased width. His kits have also been changed around, with Wildfire Launcher now buffing damage to the Thermite Launcher, in addition to leaving more Thermite around. And this is the really big one, get ready for it, Tempered Plating will now make him immune to his own fire, and also immune to critical damage. I can see this being a very well received change, and this will place him in a strong position indeed. With the lingering fire of Scorched Earth now lasting longer as well, there are a number of good choices and synergies with the Scorch kits. Scorch is very well placed to succeed in this meta, with the nerfs to Ronin's sword block and arc rounds considered, so expect to see a lot more of Scorch as of tomorrow. Moving on to the guns, we can see the biggest changes in this update. Assault rifles and SMGs have suffered reductions across the board to aim assist. You will need to be closer in range and aim closer to your target in order for aim assist to take effect with these guns. It will be interesting to see how this feels in-game with the gunplay, but Respawn claims that this will increase weapon diversity, which is a good thing, as long as they have not gone too far. However, the SMGs took an additional blanket nerf. They will now deal significantly less damage at long and medium ranges. This will force their use up close, and limit the versatility in other circumstances. I personally think this will make assault rifles the weapon of choice, but it will be interesting to see how they stack up against the other weapon categories. As for more specific weapons, both the G2 and the DMR have had reductions in their fire rate. This will be a nerf for the G2, but Respawn claims that this is actually good for the DMR, as it will force trigger discipline and will make it easier to hit those follow-up shots if the scope has more time to steady. While I don't really think this will change either weapon much, combine this with the aim assist reduction, we may see less of the G2, which is not something that I'll be complaining about if I'm completely honest. Medium range damage has been reduced for the flatline, which is fair, especially considering the changes to the SMGs. Something that I don't agree with as much, just because I like them a lot, is that sidearms have also suffered a blanket damage nerf. With the exception of the auto pistol, they have all lost damage, which means that the wingman will no longer kill in a single headshot. But luckily you shouldn't notice too much difference with the others. You can watch our video on the high time to kill playlist that we tested a few weeks ago to get some more details on this. There are a few additional game changes worth mentioning. Weapons that require a lock-on, like the Smart Pistol, Archer Rocket, and Monarch's Smart Rockets, will no longer be able to track cloaked enemies. In addition, Phase Shift now has only one charge, but it will cool down faster. Now this is a nerf, but I think it's a fair one, and they have fixed some melee issues as well. They've reduced the lunge in melee range, but increased the standard melee range. So now it should feel more consistent when punching and fly kicking pilots to the death. I am excited to see how this shifts the meta. It is a big change, but hopefully they have done their homework and it creates a more diverse battlefield with a wider range of workable builds. We just don't want to see any Titan, weapon or perk relegated to unusability. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please join my Titanfall 2 network if you play on the Xbox One. It is called 4FS Pilots. I'll be hanging around definitely this next week, playing plenty of Frontier Defense, and I hope you can join me for some of that and trying out the new and improved Scorched Titan. Until next time, this was Ascendance from 4FS Gaming.